Hello and welcome to another video episode of the Bits of History thing that I'm doing. Today we're going to be talking about the London beer flood. Just a quick point to make first. I'm still doing the plague episodes, the statuses that are on Facebook. It's the science bit and it's a bit dull. It's hard to work out, so I am on that though. I'll get that up and done Friday as well. I'm going to do everything Friday. Friday, everything gets done. Everything in the world, okay? So that's tomorrow. But today, let's talk about the London beer flood. So I've got here a piece of paper with all my notes on because I don't really know it incredibly too well. So to be honest, you're kind of learning at the same time as I am here, which will make it more entertaining. And like I said, this is all unscripted, so let's see how it goes. I haven't that long woken up neither. Just gonna let you know that, and I have work in a little while. But 17th of October, 1814. It's mid-afternoon, is what I've so far found out. We're in the parish of St Giles or St Giles. Not too sure how you pronounce that. Doesn't matter that I come from London myself. We don't have to learn the pronunciation of everything. Um, and this is of course London, England as well. You've got the Henry Moe and Company Brewery in Tottenham Court Road, right? And there's a vat inside this brewery containing 135,000 imperial gallons, which is 610,000 litres of beer. This ruptures, knocking off all the taps on the other vats that are nearby, and you end up with 323,000 imperial gallons, which is 1,470,000 litres. It's just numbers. I'm not good at numbers. Of beer gushing out into the streets, right? Now, there's, I mean, already this has got room for comedy and funny stuff to happen, but we'll keep to the serious side for just a moment. There is um, basically some recorded deaths. There's 8 drownings. Uh, there was a woman named Anne Saville. She was 53. Eleanor Cooper, who could have been 14, 15, or 16. Hannah Bamfield, who was 4. Catherine Butler, who was 63. Elizabeth Smith, who was 27. Mary Mulvey, who was 30. Thomas Mulvey, who was 3. And Sean Duggins, who was 29. Now, from what we know, um, basically, these people drowned in basements, I believe, except for Eleanor Cooper. But where they live in, where the brewery is, it's built in like a poor area in St Giles of 1814. Not to say the area isn't poor now. Never been to St Giles, but so basically at this moment of time, you've got like houses above them, and then houses below them, like in the basements kind of thing. And so all of these people in basements, various basement houses and stuff. And from what I've done a little bit of detectoring, and from what I can tell, we've got Anne, um, Anne Saville, who is mourning her son, John. Her son John had died. She's there with a friend, an Irish friend, and then the rest of them are family members. Now I can't work out what ones are who, but I might be able to kind of decode it with you. Eleanor Cooper, she works at the brewery, which is probably why, well, we've got her down as being 14, 15, or 16. Clearly, they don't give a fuck about her too much. But she basically, when the vats explode, it tears down quite a bit of the brewery as well, and she's trapped under the rubble. So she might have even crushed to death rather than drowned. Like, who knows? And who cares? But then we've got also Hannah. I've got this one right as well. Hannah Bamfield. Um, she's the 4-year-old daughter of a woman named Mary Bamfield. That's what I've been finding through various different sources. They're sitting down and drinking tea, but the recorded deaths doesn't actually mention anyone called Mary Bamfield. So I don't know if Mary Bamfield perhaps survived and her 4-year-old daughter died. But I do have here a recorded death, which is Mary Mulvey, who was 30. So perhaps, you know, Mary Mulvey's 30, Hannah Bamfield 4. You know, it could be a relation. Maybe Mary Mulvey is the original name before she got married, and we know her as Mary Bamfield because that's, you know, I assume there's a Mr. Bamfield out there as well, and all the rest of these. Oh no, hang on, I've just spotted a flaw in my own plan there because Mary Mulvey and Thomas Mulvey, she perhaps. Oh no, maybe the mum survived, or maybe she just wasn't important enough for her name to be recorded. I don't have a fucking clue. Um, the rest of these though, Elizabeth Elizabeth Smith, Catherine Butler, Sean Duggins, they're all there mourning the child with Anne Saville. So yeah, that is quite a bit of a disaster, really, isn't it? When you think about it, like, I've just basically listed off a shitload of deaths. But what a way to go though, like drowned by a beer. I mean, that's just the way I want to die, to be honest. And apparently, as well, what I've been reading is you know that you get those people that like to just dispose myths. And one of the first things I heard about this, the London beer flood, was there was like a bit of fluff there, yeah, but there was basically a shitload of civilians rushed out into the streets and were, you know, with jars and pots and pans collecting beer, like free beer, and running back off again, like, you know, like the shadows into the night. Like I can see that happening, but apparently that is just a myth. That didn't actually happen. If I was living in those fucking times and I was there, you know, it would have happened because I definitely would have done that. Free beer? What the fuck are you? Why are you missing out on that, London people? Oh, this isn't the London I know and love, you know? Like, everything's expensive in London. Surely it was back then. That's why you've got people living in fucking basements because they can't even afford normal houses. Like, you would have, yeah, I would have definitely loved to have died that way. If I was there, if I had to die in 1814 on the 17th of October, it would have been in St Giles. Just saying. But the brewery though, the brewery was taken to court, so there might be some good news here, right? Let's have a look. So the brewery's taken to court. On poorhouses where, yeah, I've read that bit. The brewery's taken to court, but the accident or the disaster is ruled as an act of God. An act of God. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and insult religion here, but it is an accident, surely. But you know, it's just a dodgy vat. It's exploded. It's, you know, taken off all the taps of the other vats because the the concentration of liquid that's pouring out is obviously knocking off other taps and that, and obviously that's intensifying as more liquid pushes out. It tears down the wall of a fucking brewery and traps a 14, 15, 16, no one gives a fuck about her age-year-old girl, right, under the rubble, crushing or drowning her. So it's quite a large. It's a bad accident. But to rule it as an act of God, surely you could have just ruled it as an accident. Like, this is just a not natural disaster, because that would suggest that, you know, maybe an earthquake tipped it off or something. But just a normal man-made accident. Like, no one needs to get in trouble for it. Look, you know, some people have died, but let's be fair. It's, you know, what are you supposed to do? Like, it's not. You know, it's just an accident. That's all I'm trying to say. To rule it as an act of God, that's like saying God, you know, really was just like, yeah, do you know what, I'm bored today. I'm gonna kill some people in beer, you know. I know he's done some pretty fucked up things in the Bible, and again, not trying to insult anyone's religion here. It's up to you what you believe, what you know, whether you like the fucked up things he did in the Bible, but there's no mention in the Bible of him ever drowning people in beer. And I just think in 1814, he's been around for a long time now. He's not gonna start killing people in beer now, is he? You know, and to rule it as an act of God, it's just to me, it troubles me and it puzzles me and it leaves me quizzical and wondering why. You know, like as an act of God. I could just, I could just imagine God sitting there, up there in his magic cloud, and just being like, how have you know, I've killed people in different, new and incredible ways. Kind of, I'm sitting here drinking a beer. There's got to be a new way, you know, like Peter. You know, you're Jesus' mate, and you come over here, come over here. I want to kill some people, you know. And Peter's like, oh God, the answers you seek are within inside your own hand. God looks down, and he's like, wow, beer. So Giles, how does he come up, man? How would God make up this kind of like, come up with this idea, this random shitty little street, and why is it always poor areas as well? Why is it always poor areas that suffer? Why does God like to punish the poor? I, you know, this is what gets me, ruling it as an act of God. It's basically just rich people saying, no one gives a fuck that innocent poor people died. We're gonna do nothing about it. We're gonna let the brewery off, and obviously they're not gonna have to pay anything for the loss of the money and stuff, so they can carry on making beer to dumb the poor masses down. Fuck you, poor people. You know, it's God. What are you gonna do? You're gonna argue with God? You're gonna risk your eternal soul? Argue with God? Yeah, come at me, bro. Like, that's kind of that's the impression I get. So I've had my rant about the London beer flood. I've also informed you as much as I could about the London beer flood, and seriously, I can't actually inform you much more because the event isn't incredibly detailed. Like, this did take me the best part of 10 minutes to research this stuff up. You know, that's 10 minutes of my time for you people. Um, I also did inform Luke yesterday about this idea. He wants me to show him how to do it. Still not going to insult him. That will happen, but not yet. Um, so he will be jumping on board with this idea as well. I don't know, I'm finding it quite exciting. I hope you are too. So tomorrow is the day where I post up the science behind the Black Death, and hopefully the intro too. So, as always, peace and love, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.